Good morning. You know, when the TAM board asked us to put together as staff an innovations workshop, what we ended up with was really more topics and aspects of the world of innovation and transportation that we could even fit in one full day. But we tried to pick the best and some of the most interesting speakers that we could find. And we're very pleased that you could all come and attend our first ever innovations workshop here at TAM. Every day on the radio, we're hearing about companies that are coming forward with autonomous vehicles, companies that are getting into the shared mobility market. I don't know about you, but I rely on a lot of these companies, especially when I'm traveling more than I ever have in the past. So we know they're out there, we know we're using them, excuse me. And we are actually looking for the suitability of bringing some of this technology to Marin, more of it. We've seen several things develop here in Marin over the last few years. We have car sharing. We're going to be bringing forward bike sharing. I had Wendy Kalin stop in my office the other day with her new electric bike. We know that autonomous vehicles are a hot topic. Who makes them? How do they operate? How do they work on a local road? Should we have autonomous vehicle corridors in Marin in the future? These are some of the questions that we're giving consideration to. We'd love to hear your opinion on those. So stay tuned for a very active day of all of these discussions and more. I'm actually, it's a pleasure for me this morning to introduce the current chair of the Transportation Authority of Marin, Stephanie Moulton-Peters, going to make a few remarks. Stephanie was elected to the Mill Valley City Council in November 2007. She served her second term as mayor from 2013 to 14. She's the Mill Valley Council representative to TAM, and she is the current chair of TAM, and she is a terrific chair. And I know all the staff here will attest to that. She's represents the Marin County Council of Mayors and Council Members on the boards of Marin Transit and just previously on the board of SMART. She's former member of the executive board of the League of Cities, a longtime promoter of walking and biking. You know, we're all about alternative modes here in Marin. And it's a pleasure for me to introduce her this morning to make a few remarks to you. So welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you, Diane, and good morning, everyone. It is true, for me, getting there is half the fun. And so I welcome you here. I want to acknowledge all the TAM board members who are here. If you're a TAM board member, would you raise your hand? And now if you're a fellow elected official also here, would you raise your hand? And then I want to acknowledge the members of our wonderful Citizens Oversight Committee. If you're on that committee, please raise your hand. Everybody take a look. These are our partners in making sure that we're doing all that we're supposed to be doing the way we're supposed to be doing it. So I want to welcome you. I am so excited about this morning. We, as Diane said, have been talking about this workshop for a while. You know, the future is coming. And the future is coming at us, and Marin is a place that is known for creativity and innovation, and it just seemed that we ought to put our creative juices to work on transportation possibilities, and that's what we're going to do today. We are facing a sea change in transportation modes and mechanisms and technologies, and the choices that we make in the next few years will shape our future going forward. So we thought it would be great to come together this year and maybe once every year to look at these opportunities. What's a good fit for Marin County? Where do we need to go to push the envelope and move forward? We're going to explore several themes today. How can we provide mobility choices for our residents and our workforce regardless of age or socioeconomic background? How will technology change how we use and plan our transportation network? How can we ensure that in embracing the new frontier of self-driving cars, we retain our privacy, our safety, and avoid inadvertently exacerbating congestion and air pollution? And then how will the delivery economy grow and change with the proliferation of delivery bots, drones, self-driving trucks, and truck platooning? And finally, and important to me, how do we continue to protect our environment as we work together to realize the promise of tomorrow's transportation innovations? I'm glad you're here. It means that you are big thinkers. It means that you're willing to embrace the possibilities. I'm excited to learn with you, and I welcome you to imagine with me the possibilities as we explore innovations for tomorrow's transportation. Welcome, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. I have the pleasure this morning of introducing our first speaker. He is Bijan Sartipi, the director of Caltrans. I first met Bijan back in the 1980s. I was very young then, and I haven't been able to shake him since. He's been at Caltrans working diligently for a very long time. Bijan is here today because they opened Highway 37 yesterday. Yay! He was going to be in disguise if Highway 37 had not been opened. I want to recognize his great work, and I think we have someone else that might have been involved in Highway 37 sitting over here, Mike Gelati. So if anything goes wrong on Highway 37, you know who to call. Caltrans is our opening speaker, Caltrans. You may think that Caltrans is not really at the forefront of innovation, but they've done some remarkable things to enable us to travel and to do our jobs better. They have a tremendous amount of partnering going on with data providers. So how do we know who's traveling where? How do we know what corridors to address and how to address them? They've made information freely available to a whole variety of systems, managers who provide that information to us. They have a remarkable traffic management center. They were one of the first agencies in the United States to use those changeable message signs way back in the 1981, I think it was. And of course, they brought on electronic toll collection along with the Golden Gate Bridge District and are innovating in-road tolling, which is going to be with us for a very long time as we try and embark on how to invest and improve our transportation systems. It's a pleasure to introduce Bijan this morning. He manages about 6,500 miles of road and systems around the Bay Area. His team is working very diligently right now on a district-wide bike plan, and he's going to talk a little bit more about some of the innovative work that District 4 Caltrans is doing. So welcome, Bijan.